Should work. That did work. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So today, Wednesday, what do we have coming up this morning? We have retail sales at 8:30. We have NVIDIA earnings. We already had Target earnings. We had Lowe's earnings. So I'm going to speak to all of that. I'm going to speak about the SPY, give you my prediction or my estimation for today, tell you how I traded yesterday, what I traded yesterday, why I traded yesterday, and what I'm looking to get into today. Because remember, I'm here not for myself, not to speak and listen to myself speak. I'm here to help you, to give you guidance, to share strategies with you, to help you understand the tops, the bottoms of the market where we could potentially be headed. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's bring it in. Okay, again, you have retail sales out at 8:30. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the market because those numbers dropped, and the Dow just dropped, and the SPY just dropped about 0.25%. So that tells me that retail sales were probably off this morning. Then we have NVIDIA. Let's just see if NVIDIA came in yet. No, it's still off 124. All right, so let's talk about Target came in. Target sales disappointed. I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. Actually, I'm not sure where Target sales are. Let's see if I can find that information. All right, here we go. Target sales, Target's off 15% this morning. Now, the estimate per share was $2.13. They came in at $1.54. So they missed by 60 cents. So they missed by over 30%. Okay, sales, 26.5 billion, 26.3 billion estimate. Slight beat. But what that's telling me is Target could literally drop probably 17 to 20% today. The fact that it's off 15% this morning, I think it has more room. Let's compare it to Lowe's, LOW. They had their third quarter earnings, okay? Estimate $3.10 a share. They came in at $3.27 a share. So they beat by 17 cents a share. Not a huge beat, probably about 4%. Same with sales, 23.4 billion, 23.1 billion. About 3 to 4%. They didn't crazy crush it. So again, there are no plays that I would play with those two. Okay, so let's talk about the market in general because this is pretty important. If you haven't noticed, we are approaching the 200-day moving average. So as we go up, we're approaching the 200-day moving average. Now, if you look at all of 2022, all of this year, and look at the line for the 200-day moving average, you're going to notice we were only above the 200-day moving average for maybe 2 to 3 weeks the entire year. So it's no doubt that as we're approaching the 200-day moving average, I think it will be a rejection. Now, does it happen right away? Like as soon as we hit the 200-day moving average, does it be like rejection and the market sells off? Of course not. It takes time to happen. Now, I'm going to mention the ranges of the SPY, bullish case scenario, bear case scenario for today and for the end of the year. But first, I want to talk about my trades from yesterday because we all look for instant gratification. We would love it if we got into a trade and we bought it at $1 and we checked it next and it was $1.25 and we checked it 30 minutes later and it was $1.50 per contract and we're up 50% and we're like, dude, we are the best. I bought this contract. It was up 25%, 50%, 100%. Man, this thing's just going to fly. It doesn't work like that. So I'm going to talk about my trades yesterday and the transparency and how I would have been much better off if I had held overnight, okay? But the point is, yesterday, volatile market, day before, volatile market, lots of movements, big fall yesterday due to Ukraine shooting down a Russian missile and some scraps landing and killing some people in Poland. Market dropped significantly at that time and then quickly bounced back higher again. We thought maybe it was Russia actually shooting a missile into Poland. It was not. That's what the U.S. says. But let's go to my positions from yesterday, okay? I was in some coin puts. All right, I entered in the early morning coin puts. Coin had just spiked up. I bought the puts for $247. They went down to $200 a contract. I bought some more at $210 a contract. Now I I bought at $225, bought more at $200, sold at $247. They closed the day at $3 to $3.15, bid and ask. So they closed the day 30% higher. Now, where's coin pre-market this morning? Pre-market this morning, coin is off almost 2%, down to $54.50, down a full another $1. So let's add another $1 onto those contracts, and they'd be worth over $4. Again, I got out at $250. They're worth $4, okay? I secured profit, but sometimes, it's better to hold on. And again, these are most commonly all my trades yesterday. Again, I secured profit over and over again, but like TQQQ, $24 puts. As the TQQQ was spiking and tech was spiking in the morning, same time I entered my coin options, I bought 10 contracts for $97. All right. That happened to have been the low on the day. I sold at $1.05. I made $80, small account. I was okay with it. Those accounts went as high as, those contracts went as high as $2. Again, in for less than $1, as high as $2 the same day yesterday. They're even opening at $1.46 with the market down this morning, probably made $1.76. Point is, I sold at $1.05. Let's say they're worth $1.76, or I could have even asked up to $2.03 yesterday. I left 100% on the table. So how do I avoid doing this on my trades? And I made some other trades. I was bullish. I was in some SPY calls. I bought in. That was the best trade I had. I bought it at $3. I sold it like $3.60. 20% profit. It was the best trade I had because that was the only one that made sense for me selling. Oh, I sold that. Thank God I'm out because they're probably $1.17 this morning. So again, my strategy yesterday was get in, get out, secure profit. Get in, get out, secure profit, get it. So I made like $700 yesterday. It wasn't a killer day. I know some of you guys follow people on Twitter and they're like make $121,000 or make $15,000 a day. That is not me. I've learned my lesson. I play small ball. I never want to over leverage myself in any position because it seems like the last 6 times that I've over leveraged myself in any position, I get hurt. One time the CEO came out, another time the company asked for more money. There's always a reason that nobody sees coming. So you're like, yeah, I'm sure about this. I'm going to go, jump 2 feet into this trade. No, I would tell everybody, just be careful. Just play it cautiously. We saw what would happen in the market yesterday. So we saw the big drop when the market, when we thought that Russia had attacked Poland yesterday, or some rockets got fired in, 2 Polish people died. We saw the markets drop significantly. So people that were in puts, and I had a few puts, I consider something like that a market movement that is caused by an external nature. I call that a gift. If it goes in my direction and all of a sudden I was down 10%, and from being down 10%, I am up 80%, I call that a gift. I call that time to secure profit. Do not ride the elevator because as what we saw yesterday, after it comes out, it goes back like this and it rebounds. All right. So anytime you get a major spike or a major drop, it is more than okay to take profits. All right. Now let's go to my SPY prediction from yesterday. Or let's just go right into today. So the SPY past few days, I'm going to give you the lows and the highs from Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And you'll tell me if you see a pattern. Okay. The high from Friday on the SPY, 399. The high for Monday on the SPY, 400. The high yesterday on the SPY, 402. Okay, so 399, 400, 402. The low on the SPY, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday yesterday. Friday, 393. Monday, 394. Tuesday, 394. Do you see a similar range? So what that is telling me is there is consolidation in the market. Okay, we have 3 days. We traded the same range for all 3 days. The highs were relatively the same. The lows were exactly the same, 393, 394, and a 394. So here's your 2-case scenario for what's going to happen. I'm talking about from now until the end of the year, and then I'll cover what's going to happen today. Now to the end of the year, consolidation in the market for 3 days. And yes, it could last longer. We could go and just be in the 394 to 400 range for another 2 days. It is possible. But here's what's going to happen. If we break out to the upside, I've heard some analysts, I've heard some people on Wall Street, bull case scenario, talking SPY 440, S&P, right, 4,400 end of the year. Now, understand, we're just under 400 or 4,000 on the S&P, right? So 400 on the SPY, 4,000 S&P. I've heard bullish predictions say 40. And yes, there's only like 6 weeks left of trading, probably 5 weeks when you count the holidays. So if there's 5 weeks of trading, let's say that's 35 days worth, 400, they're calling 440. That's like 0.25%. That's 1 point on the SPY every day. On average, it's going to go up every day and step higher to get to that bull case scenario. Do I think that? No, but I'm continuing the bull case scenario for the bulls out there, okay? You're bullish out there. You've seen the rates. Remember the 2-year, the 10-year, the US dollar, okay? Friday, 437, Monday, 438, 4.35. So the 2-year continues to come down. However, in my opinion, we basically fell off a cliff based on CPI and PPI for the 2-year, the 10-year, the US dollar. At some point, it's going to rebound. When it does, it becomes expensive to invest in our markets. So yes, if rates continue to go down and the 2-year drops to 4% and the 10-year goes down and drops to 3.5%, which isn't happening, yes, the markets will skyrocket and moon, and the SPY will be 440 on the end of the year. However, what is likely to happen is the Fed will be somewhat still aggressive. They still have to boost their balance sheet. All right, now here's the other interesting fact. I'm sorry to put this right out there, but we're talking about the Fed and how much they're going to hike for December. So before CPI and PPI came out, they were going to hike 75 basis points. You use the Fed swaps rates to figure that out. You could Google that if you'd like. So 75 basis points. After PPI and CPI came out, now it's estimated that the Fed is only going to raise 50 basis points in December. So when you saw the markets get extremely bullish for Friday, for end of third day Thursday, for a bit of Monday, now you understand, okay? So Fed only going to raise 50 basis points in December, strong for the market because they thought 75 basis points. Along the same lines, that is also why you saw the 2-year, the 10-year, and the US dollar go down. So I'm watching it like a hawk, okay? Until I see some momentum that I think makes sense, which means rates going back up. If I see rates going back up, I will be extremely bearish on the market. However, short-term strategy, because this is a strategy session, is I'm still going to continue to get in and get out and secure profit. And I pointed out to all of you that my trades from yesterday, I probably left I made $800. I probably left opening this morning $8,000 on the table. So people will say, bad trader, Matt. You left so much money on the table. What I would counter them was safe trader. I was in, I was out. I was never worried at any time. Maybe for 2 minutes here or 2 minutes there on a new trade, I was red, but then I went green pretty quickly because my entry and my timing was pretty accurate. Now let's remember on Discord, towards the end of the day, let's speak about the Yang, which is the Chinese market, the inverse. As the Chinese market goes up, the Hang Seng, our ADR, which is how you invest in or against Chinese market, will go down. So I mentioned the Yang to my Discord. I put it on there yesterday. It was $15. It was what was it? $15.39. Let me find Yang. Here we go. It was $15.70. And I was like, hey, does anybody else think that the Chinese market is a little too strong and needs to pull back? Because let's remember, the other day it was up 7%. A couple of days before that, it was up 3%. I mean, you've seen the results from companies listed on our exchange like Alibaba, Baidu, through the roof. However, do I believe China? Heck no. China lies about most everything. And if they're allowing the US and auditors to audit some of these Chinese companies, it's because they already had Chinese auditors go through these companies before the US auditors got there, and they made sure there were not going to be any issues or problems. All right, next thing about China. China Disney is opened, but not the full park, just certain parts of the park. Next, China says our COVID policy has not changed. Well, shit, in Beijing, cases are spiking. Let's remember how last year started. Guess where China is at? They have just as many cases as they did the beginning of last year right now. And let's remember what happened in December, January, February, March, April, May. I mean, they shut everything down. They locked people in their buildings for a week at a time. Now, maybe the lockdown will only be 3 or 4 days instead of 7 days, but that still worries me. So that's what you have going on there. In Europe, in Eastern Europe, it's freezing out and nobody can get energy because Russia's being a dick, right? Russia attacked Ukraine. It's worse than that. I mean, they committed horrible, atrocious crimes. But let's just simplify it. Russia's being a dick. Everybody's freezing. Energy costs are going up. They're not going to come down anytime soon, all right? What could force energy prices down? Recession. If we go into recession and energy comes down, we're all effed anyway because we're in recession. All right, so I see some questions. Please, let's ask some questions this morning. Oh, I didn't talk about the SPY yet. So please continue to ask questions outside. Big Nibs, Josh, everybody that has any type of question. You have a question about Amazon, ask a question. Say, here's what I think might happen. What do you think about Amazon, Matt? let's get some interactive going. Because when you guys just ask me about a certain stock, I can tell you if I follow the stock. If I don't follow the stock, I just have to tell you I don't follow the stock. All right, so SPY today, we left off the last 3 days, 399, 400, 402 on the top, 393, 394, 394 on the bottom. So first, if I was going to make a guess, I would say based it on history, the top of the market today will probably be 402, 401, 403. So somewhere in there, I'd say 402, okay? The bottom of the market is probably going to be where we've been the last couple of days. 394 has been the bottom. We touched 393 and change 2 days ago, okay? The only reason I say that is because it's definitely consolidating right now. Now, I gave you the bull case scenario. The bull case scenario is the market consolidates for a few days. By the end of the year, the S&P is at 4,400. The SPY is at 440. That's your bull case scenario. Extremely bullish, 440 on the S&P. Let's go to the reverse. The reverse, and I can bring up the chart for this. I still have my 4-hour chart up there, I think, on the SPY. So we've got to go back a bunch of weeks. Here we are. We gapped up 3-4 Mondays ago from 358 all the way to 364. So we tend to fill gaps. So what would that tell me? Bear case scenario, we're sitting right at 400, right? 360. So the same way I'm saying a bull case scenario, 400 to 440, which is 10%. Okay, all you mathematicians. When you take 10% away from 400, where do you get? You're back at 360. You're filling the gap. So now, bear case scenario, market goes down, 360 end year on the SPY, down 10% from where we are now. Okay, understand technology. We're up 4% this month. We were up 7% last month. Everything's been killing it lately, skyrocketing. I know people with big money that are siphoning off their positions because they've ran so good over the past couple weeks. So again, long-term SPY S&P, bear case end of the year. So we're only talking 5-6 weeks, 360 on the downside, okay? We're going to fill that gap. Bull case is shit strong as can be, and you'll be able to tell. It's not like, well, which one is it, Matt? I don't know which one to play. You'll be able to tell if we break consolidation, we go and you see 409 on the SPY, we're probably going to 420. So December 1st comes in, we hit 409 on the S&P and SPY, we're probably going even higher. All right, so we're consolidating this level. If we go higher, you're going to see 440. If we drop, 360. But let's talk about how we're going to make money today, okay? So we're still in consolidation. Strategy number one tells me the SPY and the S&P are going to move in the same ranges they did for the past 3 days. That's a no-brainer. I mean, we saw the top 399, 400, 402. Okay, we didn't see an explosion north of that. And the bottoms, we saw support at 393, 394, 393, and 394, right? 393 and change. I said it twice. And 394. So what are we expecting? We expect if the S&P goes down to 3930 and the SPY is at 393, right? Same thing. It'll probably bounce off that. So what we're looking for over the next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're looking for it to break either support or resistance. So again, resistance, let's talk about bull case. Resistance is just over 400. We would need to close at 402, 403 for me to take a bullish outcome or outlook on the SPY, okay? And I'm not saying that's today. I'm saying any day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We close about 403. I'm a bull for the short run, and I think we'll see 420 or 419 on the SPY, which would still be another 5%. So even though some stocks ran, I would be bullish from then to the end of the year if I saw the breakthrough. Now, if I see a breakdown, it's a little different because I don't think the markets are going to collapse. There's no reason for everybody just to sell everything, okay? But if the markets decide they want to step down, you will see 401, 402 rejected, which it has been. You'll see us hit 394, which we have hit each of the last 3 days. So what am I telling you? If we reject or break through, you're going to see 390 again. Now, if we see 390 again, it would just tell me, even if we bounce off 390, 388, something to that extent, it would still tell me we're going to see 388. We're going to see 385. So here are the different levels on the SPY. We'll start on the low end. You can write these down, okay? If you're not on my Discord, you can write them down and you'll just say, okay, we crossed that level. We're likely going to the next level lower. Or we broke through. We're likely going to the next level higher. So I will give you them for the end of the year, from now until the end of the year. We'll say 377, okay? Obviously, if we break that, I'll have more information out. 377 low, then we have 382. Break 382, we're going to 387, okay? Above that, 393. So as we got down the last couple of days and we're sitting at 398 pre-market, have we changed pre-market? No, 398.21. Okay, perfect. So the market's down a little. I would tell you, shit, this just looks like Monday. It looks a little like Friday. We were down. Every time we're down, we play a head and shoulders game. So again, 394 seems to be the base. 402 seems to be up there. So what do I think would happen today? Well, I think today, again, I'm still a single day bear. The same way that I took, and if I was in those trades yesterday, I would have profited when the missile went off course and went into pull and the market dropped. I was already in and out and secured profit. But if I hadn't been, I would have accepted that gift and made a lot more money. But I'm saying short-term bear means I'm looking for the top. Yesterday and the previous couple of days, not previous day, Friday, we stepped up all day until right at the end of the day where we sold off, okay? Let's keep that in mind. Yesterday, we went like this, stepped up, and then we dropped like that, okay? So follows the same pattern. All right, let's see what kind of questions there we have today. I'm doing this all by myself. Carlos, I don't think is here. So let's see. Recommended platforms for opening an account for your daughter. Well, let's assume your daughter's 12. Let's assume your daughter's 20. I like to use Moomoo. Generally below our links, we have our videos. We have a Moomoo link. If you click on it, deposit $100 for your daughter. She's going to get a $10 coupon. You have to do it by December 20th. So you have all more than a month, right? It could be a Christmas gift or a holiday gift. And she'll get 5 free stocks. Don't trade for her until next year. So that $100 will be worth $140. So you want to get kids or anybody else into investing. Put $100 into a Moomoo account for them. It'll be $140 by the time you say surprise for them. And you'll be like, listen, you've already made 40%. You're a genius. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, same ones. Good morning. What are my thoughts on Cisco? Okay, so let's take a look at Cisco real quick. I mean, I will look at it. Unfortunately, I can't really pull it up right now because I'm not that quick with things and I'd probably lose your attention by the time I did. But please ask questions. All right. So I think Cisco didn't just make a 42-week high. Let me just look at the one-year chart. No, that was Intel that did that. So I would rather be in a different company. If you're asking me about Cisco, Cisco's had 7 straight days of outflow and 10 out of 11 outflow days. So if I'm a bear in the market, I think Cisco is probably going to go down lower. And then you can say to me, yeah, but it's been up as they've been selling it. Right, but I don't want to own something. If there's outflow in it, even if it looks like it's bottomed, unless somebody can tell me 100% they have this news, that news, or some other news. Let me just check out the volume. 19 million, forward PE, 1272. I mean, it's not the worst company. It's not like Cisco's going to drop to 30. If you're a stock-only person, I would say long-term investment, it's just like an AMD, right? Long-term investment, you can go in there. Long-term investment, you can be in Disney. Long-term investment, you can be in Amazon. Short-term investment, I would not play options around Cisco. It doesn't look like it has all that much movement during the day. Look, let me just look at the 5-day chart. Looks like it spikes towards the end. Nope, I would stay away from this one. All right, look, let me go down and see if we have any other questions. Okay, morning. What are my thoughts on NVIDIA and BABA for tomorrow's earnings? Okay, so I'll talk about NVIDIA first. NVIDIA, I expect them to come out and I expect them to cite supply chain issues, and I expect them to bring down their forecasting for the very end of the year and Q1 next year, and I expect the stock to get beat up. At the same time, when it's beat up and it finally opens down here, I expect institutions and hedge funds and big money to be buying it up the same way they buy up every major industry leader. NVIDIA is number one. Now me, I carried in 3 positions overnight. That was the only things I carried over, 3 puts. I mentioned it when NVIDIA was like 168. Then what happened at 2 p.m.? It dropped to 163. Did I sell? No, I should have sold and bought back at 168, the same puts. But I rode the elevator, so I was up. I'm still up at least 33%. I bought in at $340 per contract, the $160 put. Again, it was in anticipation of their earnings coming out that I believe they're going to miss. They might beat on the top line, but I believe they're going to miss on forecasting going forward, and the projections will be bad. And again, I could be wrong, but NVIDIA was spiked up to 166, almost open, and now this is what it's doing pre-market. So hopefully the numbers just came out. Hopefully NVIDIA is dropping because, again, I'm in 3 puts. I expect it to be that. Now, Baba, okay, Alibaba, Baidu, PDD, Neo, Bilibili. I don't trust Chinese companies. Now, it is nothing against the people. It's about, you got the government, and the government is so manipulative. So I don't really trust that. Baba's had some huge swings, and I know some investors that like to swing Baba. But I just mentioned before, I don't really trust the Chinese market. It was up 3%. It was up 7%. Yesterday or overnight, it was about 0.5%. It was stronger than that at some point. But I already mentioned all these COVID cases in China. Chinese government really hasn't come out with a full policy. There's China's dealings with Russia, China's dealings with us. We just had the G20 summit. I just don't trust Chinese companies. And I think China's economy, which President Xi has said is struggling. They're talking about some type of stimulus. The point is, Chinese economy is struggling. I don't trust Chinese companies. I'd rather go elsewhere. All right, let's see what the next comment question is. Josh, I got hurt betting against Walmart, and sure enough, it was. Yeah, I mean, see, that's what it is. The reason I like to trade ETFs, right? The SPY, the Qs, the TQQQ, is because you have two companies. They do almost the exact same thing. Walmart, Target, right? Same thing, basically. I mean, I shop at Target. I don't really shop at Walmart sometimes, but I don't think there's one around me. But if there was, I guess I would. I mean, it depends what you need, right? Point is, similar type of stores, right? Walmart crushes it. Target, no. And they're complete opposite. So, yeah, you can get screwed thinking you're going to be correct, and maybe you have the same position for both, or maybe you only had to pick one or the other. I've had to do that before when I've come up to, like, pick one or other stock, and I'm always like, okay, I'll get into Delta instead of JetBlue, or I'll get into American Airlines instead of Southwest Air. And when I'm between two, I always pick one, and I'm like, the other one's up 10%, mine's up 2%. I'm like, are you just kidding me? Talking about 200% on my option play versus 20%. All right, so somebody asked about Max Pain. So here's how I find Max Pain. You look at Friday. Friday is what, the 18th, right? So you can say something like this. Max Pain, SPY, November 18th. Then you go November, didn't take everything, 18th, right? And of course, when it says Max Pain, it thinks I'm talking about a guy named Max, and his last name is Pain, so it spells it incorrectly. All right, here we go. Max Pain calculator. I look at Stock Ninja. All right, I Google it. I'll take a look at Stock Ninja right now. But there are a couple of them. It tells me exactly the SPY's right here. Max Pain for the SPY, and it's telling me November 16th, which is today, is 390. So it's telling me the SPY is 2.18% above Max Pain. Now, what is Max Pain? Max Pain tells you when the institutions are making money. The institutions, big money, the hedge funds, they're the ones selling you all these SPY contracts that you're playing. I'm going to buy SPY calls. I'm going to buy SPY puts. It's the institutions that have shares of the ETFs that are hedging themselves by selling you calls, selling you puts. So Max Pain is for you and I. It's for the retail investor, the one holding the contracts. Max Pain is, if it goes to 390, the SPY, who makes the most money? Those institutions do, the ones that sold us all the puts and the calls. How they're positioned, I'm assuming they've sold more call premiums. So that's what Max Pain stands for. You can always just Google it anytime you're curious. Now, it used to work out much closer, meaning months ago, you could Google something on your phone like Max Pain for today on the SPY, and it would tell you 390. And where would the SPY end up? At 390, 391. It doesn't work like that. I saw Max Pain one day off by like 28 points. It said it was going one way. It bounced down, then the market bounced higher. That was one of those days the market went from like 412 on the SPY to 428. All right, let's see what Josh said. Josh, you have a question? I have a question at this point. I've gotten scared. Deep down, I want to bet against NVIDIA, Hood, and Coin for the week. Okay, so we'll talk about that strategy real quick. Josh, the first thing is, if you picked one of those, and I was in Coin puts yesterday, you wanted to get in Coin puts or Coin, bet against Coin when the stock was at $58. All right. After yesterday's activity, and it was up, down, and it finished down. It finished at the worst, basically, at 55.50, right? Finished at the worst. This morning, it was off 2%. So now you're talking about the option play. You're probably giving, you're like 60% from your best entry. Meaning you could have bought an option yesterday for $2, and today it's going to cost you, it's the same ones I entered, right? Today it's going to cost you 60% more, at least $320 to $350. So if you're taking a bet like that and you want to get bearish on whatever it is, you're looking for the best entry. The best entry is as coin was going up and it was spiking, and I told everybody, hey, I could be catching a falling knife here on my options. I bought in at 225. All of a sudden it dropped to like $2 on my contract. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to look stupid. But no, then it bounced up to 250. It bounced up to $3, 350. Of course, I was out at 250. So again, I only had 8 contracts, but I left $800 on the table. So if you scare sell or you get intimidated by the market or you can't follow your strategy, then buy less contracts. I mean, if I had 2 contracts, I would have been like, I don't even care. Where is it? Great. I made hundreds of, I mean, that's the difference. When I buy 8 contracts here and a bunch more over in my other account, same position, I've got to lock in the profit. All right. Same. NVIDIA, you're talking about NVIDIA yesterday. That was as high as $168 and change, maybe even 169. 168 is when I jumped in my puts. It's going up. People are like, oh, I'm buying them. As the stock is going up, the puts become less expensive. So it's okay to take a bearish position, but you have to get in at the right time. Again, I just wouldn't chase anything. Hood at some point yesterday, and again, Hood is more speculative. Now, Hood scares me a little because Hood has investors. Let me just tell you, Hood has like third-party investors like Elliott Capital or something like that that could push the market. So when I look at Hood, I'd be wary of getting into Hood right now. At $12.50, it was a good buy right there to get negative. When it dropped, now you're facing a recovery, so you're going to be battling recovery with an outside investor interested in Hood. I would stay away. I forgot who it was, but they paid up to $11 and change, maybe $12. So yeah, I would stay away from Hood. Cool Chick, what do you got? Yeah, you guys, you don't hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button enough. More questions are being asked, which is great, but I would love for this to be more interactive. It's about helping you. If you're one person out there and you're watching me and you've got a question, don't be shy. Tell me your my biggest mistake. I thought we were doing this. I'm not going to laugh at you. I'm going to tell you, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I would have thought that at some point or another as well. All right, so let's see what else we got. Matt, I tried joining your Discord, but the link was expired. Okay, so to join my Discord, I don't know, it should be below, but Carlos isn't here. So you get 7 free days. It's very easy. It's www.SOC, which is Stock Options Crypto, with a hyphen platform.com. So SOC dash or hyphen platform.com. You join. Now, when you join, you don't automatically get 7 days. You have to verify yourself. So you click verify myself. Yes, I'm a human person. Then you click join here. No credit card or any information needed. And you get 7 free days. Now, some people are like, yo, I can't see the rooms. Easy fix. You log off Discord after you do all those things, and you log back on Discord. Again, Twitter has the profile link as well. Yes, it does. You made a VOO trade. Same as SPY. All right, so let's just check out what VOO is at this morning. I don't trade VOO, ETF, Vanguard. Yeah, I don't trade a Vanguard ETF because what do? They take expenses out. So I don't do anything like that. Jizzy, hope you're doing well. Zim, yes. So interesting. Zim, which was like a $50 or $60 stock, it's a shipping company. It's down to like $25 or $27. Again, if I had to take a long-term position in something, it's $26 and change, and it was as low as what, 23 and change earlier this month. Long-term shipping, it's like what is it? CSX, right? The shipping company, the railroad company. Rail. I might look at Zim. Yeah, I mean they're all decent. They all give out dividends. What else we got? K-Dub in Kentucky. What's up, man? Ford. So interesting. Somebody's asking about Ford right here. And I don't really follow Ford, but I'm told by somebody that trades Ford, it usually dips in the morning and recovers in the afternoon. I'm told that the options are not that expensive because the stock doesn't move that much, but usually it follows the same pattern. And it's this one individual's on my Discord or on our SOC Discord. It's not mine. We have 3 of us or 4 of us running the Discord, much better than just me because I'm terrible at times. Anyway, so yeah, Ford tends to dip and it recovers. But yeah, we have Romeo who does live streams. I was listening to him yesterday. He was in some QQQ puts. I was actually in TQQ puts at the same time. Those are the ones I secured 8% that went up over 100%. I know he sold and take profit as well, and he was complaining that it was up over 100% as well. So it's okay. Yeah, high dividend. Yeah, most of these shipping companies have dividends. If you want to be in a longer term stock, you need to be in a dividend play of some sort because that's where the institutions and big money are going. With that said, I've got to head over to Discord, shoot my pre-market video, and talk about my trading strategies for today. Again, on the SPY and the S&P, if we were going to guess, you'd say follow history. Last 3 days, top of the SPY, right? 399, 400, 402. Right in that level. So I'd say, okay, 400, 401, 402. I expect rejection. Now we've seen that, okay? Rejection means when you see it reject, you can get into a bearish position. Where have we seen support? Past 3 days, 393, 394, 394, okay? 3 days in a row, the lows are exactly the same. So that tells me we're trading in that narrow range. And the range isn't so narrow. It's about 8 points on the SPY. So if we're doing a head and shoulders, which means we go up to the top, 400, 401, 402. We go to the bottom, 393, 394, 401, 393. It's called a head and shoulders, right? It's not me moving my arm. It's saying if you get in close to the bottom, you turn bullish, you buy calls. Boom, you sell when we get close to the top. Again, you don't have to wait the whole time. I mentioned the different levels. So if we happen to see support, let's say at 401 and I'm bullish, you're going to see 405, 409, okay? If we break through to the upside. 401, 405, 409. If we break through on the downside, right? We were at 401, we'll see 397. If we can't hold 397, you're going to see 395 and then 393 where we were past couple of days where we bounced off of. So that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, so we have it right here. Thank you for sharing that. It's right here. So there's the Twitter. You can all see it, SOC. I don't think it's underscore. I think you got that wrong. I think it's SOC hyphen. So I'm actually going to get rid of that. It's SOC, then a dash, not an underscore, just a straight dash, and it'll bring us to Discord. You'll hit join. Then what you do, I verify myself. I can see all the rooms. Oh, no, shit, I can't see all the rooms. Let me log off Discord, log back on. Oh, there are all the rooms. So again, I drop a pre-market video. I drop a couple of videos. I drop all of my trades. I only have one channel. We have a high roller room for people that like to gamble a little, but then we have Romeo's live streams and then Love's everywhere teaching. She is a professor and the way she teaches is just very special. She simplifies it to help each and everybody there. It's crazy. I mean, once our Discord blows up, she's not going to be able to give individual comments like, hey, Charlie, you might think of this. Hey, Jack, this might work for you. Here's what I'm in. Are you guys thinking about that? Anyway, I'll see you all later. Thank you for joining me today. Please join me tomorrow.